where the drama starts. Lap 30, 8 laps to go. Sandobi hoping to take advantage of these lapped cars. Pileski goes, dives onto the right side. Very aggressive here. This is lap 4. The two Viceroys. Bill Frazier ahead of Matt Pileski. Frazier's off. Frazier hit the grass. You hit that tire wall, your day is done. You know, it's lap 20. The Williams still trying to get around the Terrell team as he'll go around the left car and around those at the same time. At the same time, he's got the inside corner. Will he ride the curb? Yes, he will. He will get him on the inside. Nuna Maria leading us all into Moss's corner. Look at the beauty as his right side will cook the grass. Oh, a 180, no, a 360. Oh. Who will yield going into this corner? It's really not meant for too wide as it will be Gernot. Gernot will yield. Lots of smoke picking up from that Williams car. He is pushing it to the absolute limit. 26 of 30 now. Only 4 laps to go. He's going to get the run coming out the final corner. He's going to pull up side by side with the leader. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Who is going to get there first? It's going to be...
Just 2 rounds remain in the Lotus 79 Classic Team Championship, and there is still a lot to be decided. 2 more races left for the field to show that they have what it takes to stop the likes of Gernot Frisch and Juha Noralampi, if they can. Who will emerge victorious today? It's time to find out live from Suzuka on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hello everyone, I'm Samuel Ryman, and alongside me in the booth is former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn. Behind the scenes doing all of the button pushing is our director Amjad Yamin, and he's using camera sets provided by Dougie Beard. Richie, there have been so many historic F1 moments throughout the years here at Suzuka, so it's easy to forget that this was not a Grand Prix course all the way back in the day of the Lotus 79. And, well, what are these drivers going to be faced with today?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. And, yep, here we are at Suzuka Circuit, as one of our colleagues likes to call it, the origami pretzel. It was originally built by Honda as a test track, so it's got a lot of different types of corners. It's a great facility, very challenging, very punishing if you go off the circuit, not a lot of runoff room. It's 3 miles long, or 3.5 miles long, 3.6 to be exact. We got 17 corners, a little bit of everything. High-speed S's, high-speed sweepers, a really tight chicane right at the end. It's got a crossover as well, so we go under and over the track at some point. It's really fun to drive, but very tough to race on. But probably the best way to show you guys how this track looks is let's jump on board the GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Juha Noralampi in the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around Suzuka. Coming down to turns 1 and 2, it takes some bravery attempting any kind of pass with the curved braking. It kind of acts as one long arc, but turn 2 is more the hairpin part of the bend and requires a late apex. Crossing over, you're going to set up for the S's, which is an extremely line-dependent portion of the track. Ideally, you want to set the car up for each following corner, rather than focusing on tracking out for each exit. Keeping your rhythm will be critical. It'll be mostly single file through here unless someone makes a huge mistake, but it all culminates in the launch in a Dunlop. Through this long sweeper, you'll be flat out and just drifting it off to the left to make sure you hug the inside on the exit. Then brake hard for Degner 1 and try not to get into the AstroTurf so that you can set up for Degner 2. Use the banking here as best you can to carry your speed, then get ready for the hairpin. This is a good overtaking spot, but the kink on entry means sometimes you can't tell if someone will defend until it's too late, so keep your head up. Square off the exit and get to the power as soon as you can without creating wheel spin. You're not going to be lifting again until you get to Spoon. You might sometimes see some passes get set up along here, but the entry to Spoon is so quick it makes it kind of hairy to execute. Besides, once you come off the second sharper apex, it's really much smarter to focus on the launch from here. That's because it takes you onto the uphill climb along the backstretch. You're going to see a lot of slipstreaming, which will create some nervous 2-wide scenarios into 130R. Thankfully, it's easily flat out in the Lotus, but you could still see problems come out of it. Then comes your last good chance for a pass, the Casio Triangle. Hard braking down into here from one of the fastest parts of the track offers prime real estate for overtakes. If you stay side by side through the chicane though, it'll be easy to trip over one another. Be easy on the power exiting the corner to keep from spinning the car, and hopefully if you kept it all together, you've now finished a lap around Suzuka.
It's very quiet on track. Well, actually, not really if you have a helmet over your head or watching the cars go by when there's only one car on the course. What about when there's 37, 38 cars, or actually 39 cars on the course? That's what we've got today. We've had big fields all season long in the Lotus 79 Classic Championship. We don't expect you to memorize all their names, but how about these 5? These are 5 names you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on, because they are our championship leaders with only 2 rounds left to go, and it is going to be very, very difficult indeed to beat Gernot Frisch. Not only has he scored a tremendous amount of points at practically every single race this season, but he's pretty much been here every single week as well. Even if he wasn't here today, which he is, and even if he wasn't at next week's season finale at Phillip Island, and we have no reason to not expect him there, it would still prove difficult for Matt Wood, Alex Millwood, and the like to catch up with him. But look at that scrap we have going on for third in the points. Millwood and Nicola Kochi tied for third, and George Lambert only just a little ways behind, so still a lot to fight for back there. So, do we have a close championship battle for first? Well, yes we do. It's just not in the driver championship. It's in the team championship. And it's Ligier and Brabham running away from it for now. Ferrari and Lotus were up there not too long ago, but now it's definitely seemed to have turned into a 2-horse race. And Ligier have been doing well through consistency throughout their team in the recent rounds. They've had a couple of races where all 3 of their drivers have placed in the top 10. Brabham's big strong point or selling point is that they have their championship leader racing for them, Gernot Frisch. However, it's been a couple of races since we've seen Gernot pick up a win, Richie. Juha Noralampi has been on top form recently. So, if Gernot or Juha or another driver is going to win today, what are they going to have to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, Gernot's pretty much has this this championship wrapped up, but it's really going to come down to the team championship. Let's go on to the race details if we can here. We're round 11 of 12. We've got 2 races left. We do have 4 drops for the drivers, 2 for the teams. The race is going to be 23 laps. Doesn't seem like long, but this track is very demanding. No stops for fuel or tires, so it's just straight up racing. Do have an incident cap of 17x, and we also always use those official iRacing points here.
And qualifying is underway right now. The drivers only just getting their first lap times clicked off, and it's not exactly a long qualifying session, 8 minutes, and it's almost 2 minutes a lap. So not a whole lot of time to hang around, especially if you make a mistake on one of your laps. And there we see Gernot Frisch go in to the top at the 146.6. Now, that's not what the competition's going to want to see. However, I think we're still waiting for a lap time from Noralampi.
Yeah, it's a big gap from first to from Gernot to Alex in second at the moment. He's got almost half a second, so it's usually closer than that, but this track is very tricky. Subs will come into play. So, do you run low downforce? You run medium downforce, high downforce? The track can kind of trick you on that, on where you want to be fast. But, there's Noralampi. Just go ahead and went to the top with a 46.622, just 0.02 of a second faster. So there we go. That close battle continuing on from the last couple rounds.
That was only the first lap times for both of those drivers. They're still out there trying to get a second one in. Gernot Frisch, here he is, working his way out of a hairpin in down towards Spoon Curve. A very tricky turn to get right this. Not the right hand he's going through, but the left-hander that it leads into. So you can make passing opportunities there, but if you remember Formula 1 from last year, Sebastian Vettel showed you how that can go wrong.
Yeah, it is tricky because it's easy to go wide on that exit and drop a wheel and get a 1x, which will negate your lap time. So just trying to put a clean lap together is tricky enough, as long as, and also a fast clean lap is very tough.
Working his way through the Casio Triangle, this infamous final chicane that's seen so many dramatic moments throughout the years. Right now, has Frisch got a good run out of it? Yes, he has.
Yeah, he dropped another 2/10, put him back up on the top over Noah Lampe at the moment. Matt Wood has slotted himself up into third place, but he's a healthy 4 or 5 tenths behind.
Noah Lampe must have had a mistake or something on his second lap, or aborted it for some reason, because he's not on track, so that will solidify pretty much pole position for Gernot Frisch. We're seeing several drivers still out here on track trying to turn a lap, but these are drivers running towards the midfield right now. A single split this race, even though we have 39 drivers, so lots of different levels of driver talent and driver experience for the Lotus 79 car out there. Well, qualifying is wrapping up, so let's go ahead and read out our grid. The number 1, the number 2, and the number 3 cars are starting in their respective positions. Frisch, Noah Lampe, and Wood. Alex Millwood will be starting from 4th place, and then on row number 3, we have Adam Fraser and George Lambert. Steve Bycroft and Nicola Cochi are on the 4th row, and rounding up the top 10, we have John Stevens and Tommy McHale in Holland.
Yeah, starting in the 11th spot, it would be Yanami Costa, Peter Koninsky in 12th. Barry West, nice job, starting 13th. Right next to him would be Marco Sanfilippo. Starting 15th would be Oguz Durak, Rob Olenek in 16th position. Pablo Suarez and Robert Plumley, 17th and 18th respectively. And Danielle Gutuzzo and Charles Eric Lemlin starting in the 20th spot.
The brother Sanfilippo is Danilo Sanfilippo. He'll be starting in 21st ahead of Tony Teolis. Daniel Banker will be starting from 23rd ahead of Paulo Albertin. Then we have Eric Delander and Keith Herner on row number 13. Fabio Guerrero and Lorenzo Hugo will be on row number 14 ahead of Michael Sherling and Francisco Javier Gutierrez.
Starless and Danny Martinez in 31st and 32nd. Nicolas Isidro and Pepe Riccio in 33rd and 34th. Todd Herner, Chris Bean in 35th and 36th. And then Glenn Corrigan, Francois Gagne, and Anthony Rice round out the back of the field. Did not put a lap time in.
Still waiting for a few drivers to get gridded up. We're 30 seconds away from lights out here. There our pole sitter finally appears, Gernot Frisch, as we take a look from above at the 39 car field, and this camera provided by our camera guru here at the Global SimRacing Channel, Dougie Beard. Gives you a nice look of everyone's classic 1978 themed Formula One paint schemes as we get set for 23 laps of racing here at Suzuka. Gernot Frisch on the right, Juha Noah Lampe on the left, on the inside, the lights off and away they go. It's a nice start by Frisch. Noah Lampe's not going to challenge him, going to try and get the racing line for turn 1. In second place ahead of Matt Wood, they're side by side behind.
Pretty good start. We do have somebody off in the back going through turns 1 and 2, but pretty clean start so far as they head on into those tricky S sections. It's all about rhythm. We do have some action
big trouble in the middle. Around 10th place, many cars off in the S's. Marco Sanfilippo, one of the drivers who kicked that off. We still have Charles Eric Lemelin is in the grass and Tony Teolis. And off the pace right now, Barry West is very slow off the pace, and there's a huge pack of cars trying to get around him. And now he pulls into the grass and lets them go.
Yeah, it's really separated out the field back there in that spot where we had that incident. We'll get back to that replay in a second. Meanwhile, everybody's single file and just trying to get some heat in those tires as we continue on.
So as dramatic as it was from about 11th on back there in the S's, the top 10 remain pretty much as they started. The top 6 are unchanged. The first driver who's picked up a spot is Nicola Cochi. He started 8th and he's up to 7th in the canary yellow number 5 machine.
Yeah, big issues there in the middle of the pack, and kind of mixed these guys up from, like I say, about 11th on back as they head up over the track there, the crossover, and coming into the Casio Triangle and trying to complete lap 1. This is a very tricky spot to get your braking done right. Those curbs are impossible to drive on, so you got to try to stay off of those.
Lap 1 of 23 in the books, being led by Gernot Frisch, but not by much. And let's take a replay of exactly what happened here at the start. I think It had something to do with one of the San Filippo drivers and Barry West were running around 10th place, so it wouldn't surprise me if perhaps they were involved in the start of the incident. We see two cars going together. Is that Peter Koneski maybe? That looks like a Brabham.
Yeah, it looked like a Brabham car. Got on the inside there and did a little spin, and unfortunately everybody behind him had nowhere to go, so it just kind of just parked everybody right into that left-hander is coming up to right there, and just a big parking lot of cars going through the dirt, going backwards. We are on board Robert Plumley, and he's going to come into that corner, and you just see there's nowhere for him to go. He gets hit from behind. Now he's going backwards and probably be able to keep going. Doesn't seem like a lot of damage to a lot of cars, just a lot of mix-up.
Yeah, I'm seeing only two drivers out of the race, Charles-Eric Lemelin and Marco Sanfilippo. Barry West and Anthony Rice are also in pit road with substantial damage right now. Not much has changed up front, where Prix continues to lead, but we've got a lot of action going on back here in the middle of the field. Drivers still quite close to each other, even up front. They're just holding station for now. Matt Wood, you see him in the black Lotus there. That's Alex Millwood in the red and white car pressuring him for third.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a Matt Wood train going on here. First and second's a little bit separated out by about half a second, but Matt's got a lot of pressure behind him with Alex Millward. These are two championship players as well, so getting good point are going to be critical as we get near the end of this season.
I'll tell you this much as they work their way through the S's right now. If I'm ever in a team race, one driver I want in my car is Daniel Banker, because he has a knack at the start of races that are chaotic, such as today's was, of being able to pick up a bunch of positions without getting damaged. This isn't just a one-off, him gaining 9 spots on the opening lap by avoiding crashes. This seems to be a regular thing, Richie, that he's able to find a way through.
Yeah, he has just definitely got a good vision and just kind of picks a spot and goes through there. It's not always luck, so nice job to him. Got a nice battle here with Matt Wood, Alex Millward. He's kind of gone wide. He's checking everybody up behind him, so they're really stacking up behind these guys. Meanwhile, Gernot Frisch has laid it down. He's over a second ahead of Noah Lampe at the moment.
Yeah, we took a look back 14th place right there because these drivers were entering the twisty infield portion of the circuit where you don't normally see passes, but now as they exit the spoon curve, passing opportunities galore for the next 3 or 4 turns. Here they come up to 130R. This is a place where you can make a move happen. It doesn't mean you should. Adam Fraser, though, not really close enough within striking range for Millwood in 4th. Millwood not close enough to Wood in 3rd, although Wood overshot Casio there, and that could leave him a sitting duck down here on the front straight.
Yeah, I'm watching Matt Wood. He's feeling the pressure. He's making a lot of little tiny errors that's keeping Alex right there behind him. As Alex is in the draft, he's going to force, Matt's going to try to force him to go around the outside. Not going to happen just yet, but man, Matt, oh, there you go. Matt's going off, feeling the pressure. He's going to lose 2 spots, maybe 3 at the moment, just 2 spots, but you can see that pressure building.
I have a feeling this is an early indication, Richie, that maybe Matt Wood is running with slightly less downforce, because not only has he made a couple of mistakes in the turns, but Alex Millwood had a really nice run out of Casio, and he wasn't able to do anything with Wood on the straight. So I have a feeling that if Wood can stick with Millwood and Fraser ahead of him through this infield section, maybe he'll be able to make an easy pass again when they get back out to the front straight.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, setup's going to be a little bit more important than most tracks here as far as the differences of downforce levels you can run. And it's just about what you want to sacrifice. Do you want to sacrifice speed down the straight, or you want to sacrifice grip through those medium to high speed corners?
Oh, Matt Wood off again.
Yeah, he is struggling. He's just, I don't know if he's just feeling the pressure or if it is a setup issue, but he has been kind of sliding around and getting just a little bit off, a little bit here. He does have huge pressure with George Lambert all over his gearbox as they come up to 130R right into the Casio triangle.
Lambert going to hold station for now. Wood braking a bit earlier than he did last lap and hits the apexes nicely through Casio, and he should be able to get a good run down the straight. However, that being said, he's swerving all about the straight, trying to break the slipstream to George Lambert. It works for now. He'll hold on to 5th position.
Yeah, I think if Matt can just kind of keep it on the track a little bit more, he'll have the speed. He showed it in qualifying, but those little mistakes are going to hurt him if he keeps making them.
Keeping half an eye on how our team drivers are performing in that championship battle between Ligier and Brabham. Obviously, George Lambert, well, here we are, have Gurno Frisch leading the race for Brabham. George Lambert is running in 6th for Ligier right now, and back in I think 11th place last time I checked is Pablo Lumbrera Suarez. Barry West is the other Ligier. He's in the pits for damage, and we also saw Peter Konevsky caught up in that lap 1 incident. Although I think he was able to continue. Yeah, he's still out there on the lead lap, but down in the 30s.
Alex Miller's been able to separate himself out from that group. He's still 4.3 seconds, though, back. Adam Frazier, Matt Wood, hanging tight. Nice little battle between Nicola Kochi for 7th, 8th, and 9th with Steve Bycroft and Tommy Unhola. Those guys have been nose to tail from the beginning.
All these drivers, by the way, running in pretty prestigious positions around 8th, 9th. Remember, we started with a 39-car field, and despite that lap 1 pile-up, we still have 34 cars out there on the lead lap. Danilo Sanfilippo, Anthony Rice, Barry West, Marco Sanfilippo, and Charles-Eric Lemelin are the only ones pretty much in the garage or out of the race at this point.
Yeah, we've had some really good races all season, big fields. I think what's going to happen, though, just like we've seen in other tracks, is because there's 39 cars out there, or roughly or so, running, lap traffic's going to come into play as it always has, and this track being as narrow as it is, that's going to, I think, going to really mix up the field as basically towards the last third of this race. Ooh, Alex going wide there, almost loses it completely, and that's what I say. It's a fast track, but it's punishing if you drop your wheels anywhere off the track. That grass really doesn't like you being on it.
Another casualty I'm seeing in the pits now.
Oh,
and another casualty.
Yep, just coming through that quick little right-hander there where the bridge is, and he got sideways and just snapped back the other way. Here's the replay. This double right is really tricky, but it's important as far as lap time goes. It kind of banks in, and he just gets sideways, snaps over, and into the barrier he goes, and unfortunately he is now taking a tow.
So that's 3 yellow cars that have just came into the pits in the last 30 seconds or so. Tony Teolis and Danny Martinez also in the pits for damage. So the field continues to thin out a little bit just due to the size and the nature of this track. Obviously, the fact that Nicola Kochi has gone off from the top 10 moves everyone behind him up a spot. It will push Pablo Lumbrera Suarez up into the top 10.
Gurno Frisch, I was just going to say, just laying it down. His last lap was 0.3 faster than Noah Lampe. He's opened up a 3.4 second gap now, so he's gone.
And Richie, I was just taking a quick look at the weather conditions. I mean, there's nothing alarming here. This seems like a perfectly normal day.
No, I think it's just the nature of the track. It's very tough, very windy. These cars are, tough to get the power down, and they got those tiny little front tires, so it's just tough. And meanwhile, watching this battle with Alex, with that mistake he had, he's backed himself back up to. Oh, we got another car off. Oguz Durak going off the track there. Looks like turn 2.
Now, that's a shame because he had been running in 12th. He'd been having a good race. I think this is only the second race we've seen him this year.
Yeah, he started losing it in turn 1, and Unfortunately, when you slide that heavy, you heat those rear tires up really quickly, and if you just get back on it, it just spins again. It looks like that's what happened.
Well, he's got back out there. I think he's lost 4 positions there, down in 16th now. So that will put him behind Eric Delinde and ahead of Keith Herner.
Up front, once again, Gurno's just doing what he always does. He's very consistent, very patient, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. It makes it tough when he gets out in front. Noah Lampe's doing a good job trying to stay with him, but he's got a healthy gap back to 3rd place, so he can just focus forward. That battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, though, is and 7th is tight. Well, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Sorry, the 4 of them.
Yeah, well, we saw Millwood and Fraser both get by Wood, and we're wondering if they were just going to be able to pull away from him. Well, obviously, that has not been the case. Millwood is now holding up a train, and Wood goes really wide. That's
not the first time that's happened. That's how he made his first mistake and got past. He's really struggling in those braking zones. So I'm assuming he's running pretty low downforce, because not only does it help you go in a straight line, but it really affects your braking because you don't have the downforce on the car.
More downforce. It's kind of like more weight, a bigger anchor you're throwing at the ground to get you into these get you into these slow turns.
Yeah, I mean, like when we ran the Indy cars, when I raced at Road America, obviously it's a very fast track, but sure, you wanted to run those wings as flat as possible, but you really suffered in the braking zones, especially in the rear of the car. So it was just always a fine balance of what you can get away with.
Now, this isn't the only train out here on track. We've also got a pretty good one going from 13th on back. And as I say, that actually... Whoa! Apollo Alberton was running in 14th, right on the gearbox of Eric Delinde, but I think he must have had a slowdown penalty or something, because now he's lost his spot to Guz Dirac, and just look at the amount of cars behind him.
Yeah, there's 6 cars in this train with Oguz Durak leading it away. Daniel Banker doing a good job getting by. Looks like he got by Yoanmi Costa, I think that is. Or was that Keith Herner? Sorry, I think that was Keith Herner. But these guys are all racing really hard for that mid pack.
Yeah, so this is going from 14th back to about 18th place. And 3rd place is up for grabs again.
Ooh, Adam Frazier. Yeah, that was a tough pass there. Really forced the issue going around the outside in those S's. He kind of chopped the nose off of Alex Millward, but it's kind of what you have to do sometimes. Here's the replay. And Adam Frazier gets a pretty good toe. Not quite there into turn 1, but he makes it happen in this next little section. Oh, Millward goes off wide. It opens the door. But you'll see side by side, you'll see Frazier just kind of chop him off right here. He just drives in and just, it's mine. Thank you.
Well, Wood had 3rd place early on, but he wasn't able to pull away with it. Then Millward had it. He still had a train of cars behind him as well. So now what can Frazier do? Now that he's made his way up to 3rd place, it'll probably take a couple of laps for us to find out, because they're coming up to the long run down to 130R, and Millward should be able to get a nice toe on him for the next couple of straights.
Yeah, with these 4 guys battling like they are, they've kind of fallen back. Gurno, Frisch, and Nolampi are doing their own race, so these 4 are really battling for their own for the last spot on the podium. Meanwhile, Frazier's opened up that gap. Millward's got a big battle here with George Lambert as they come into the Casio Triangle. Ooh, there goes Millward, misses the braking zone completely and decides to take a different route. He's going to have a slowdown, though. He's going to lose that spot.
Yes, not the first time in history some drivers have cut through that chicane. Most of the time they get away with a slowdown penalty. On one instance they get disqualified. This time for Millward, fortunately, that won't be the case.
Yeah, he made the right decision, too. He wasn't going to make that corner, so instead of trying to spin out, he just took the penalty. Meanwhile, he just lost a spot to Matt Wood, so he's really struggling. He was up to 3rd. Now he's back to, looks like, 6th.
And look at Steve Bycroft is in that yellow and black car all over the back of him, and then Tommy Unhola bringing up the rear of that train. It's not Ferrari, it's just a very red car that Unhola's driving in 8th place right now.
Yeah, Matt Wood is just kind of in damage limitation. I mean, he started 3rd. He's the number 3 car, but he's running back in 5th spot, I believe. So he's got to put it together and try to get back up to George Lambert and Adam Frazier and try to get back up to that podium position where he was earlier.
Well, with all these drivers having these issues such as this, it's really broken 3rd and 4th place up. Adam Frazier's holding 3rd place on his own pretty good right now. George Lambert has no pressure for 4th. This is where all the action is from 5th on back. It's Matt Wood, Alex Millwood, Steve Bycroft and Tommy McElhola as they come down to 1/3 of the yard. And Millwood, he was thinking a little ambitiously there. He realises it's probably too early to make a move that aggressive. Maybe he'll make something happen in Casio, although this is where he got it all wrong last lap.
He gets it all tight up behind his gearbox, and it looks like Matt checked up a little bit and got a little gap going down the straightaway. Gonna watch Adam Frazier here. His last couple laps have been 3 or 4 tenths faster than Noah Lampy, so if he keeps it together, he might be able to close that gap. But Matt Wood's got a battle on his hands. He's got 3 hungry cars behind him.
They all went to the yeses okay. They'll probably stay like this in this formation for a couple of turns. So before he gets past for 12th place, I want to give a shout out to Eric Delinda, because he has moved up 13 spots so far this race from 25th to 12th, and he's doing that in the number 33 car. So providing he makes it to the finish here, doesn't have anything catastrophic happen, this is going to be a good haul of iRating points for him today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great job starting from 25th to 12th. Also, as we mentioned before, Daniel Banker, 23rd to 15th, running good job.
Couple of big movers there in the middle of the field as we're hitting the middle of a race. No pit stops for these drivers to worry about. They've all got a full tank of fuel that should get them to the end. These tyres don't suffer from too much tyre wear either. Although I say that, Richie, some tracks they do when the tyres get a lot of abuse, and that's certainly the case here at Suzuka. Now, sorry, Alex Millwood almost lost it coming out of Spoon. He didn't, but he lost some time going back up to that battle for 5th. But even though the tyres can easily handle 23 laps around here, I've found in my experience on iRacing with this Lotus 79, when those tyres do get worn, it makes the braking zones a little bit trickier.
Yeah, no ABS to help you out, and these cars never were meant to change tires in the races, so it does take a little too long to get it done. So without needing to pit for fuel, you just got to suffer it out and just try to make adjustments on your braking zones and your throttle application as you get along.
And of course, it's hard to say unless you're a Formula One engineer and you're really in tune with your car, what tyres really take the worst beating around here, because half of it's a counterclockwise circuit and half of it's a clockwise circuit. All corners of the car getting a lot of work around here at Suzuka. And this battle for 5th continues to rage on between Wood, Millwood, Bycroft and Unhola.
Yeah, the top 4 are all kind of separated out by a little bit, so nothing dramatic happening there. This is the battle that's really heated up, is group of 4, starting with the 5th position with Matt Wood. Alex still trying to get those spots back that he lost earlier, but not being able to make it happen.
Yeah, the top 4 have had a pretty calm race from the start. Unfortunately, the race at the start wasn't calm for everyone. Several drivers taken out in a big multi-car wreck. One of those being Barry West, who might be able to get him mic'd up, actually, and have a quick word with him. Barry, I'm sure you don't want to be talking to us this early.
No, Sam. I was on for a top 10 today, I'm sure I was. First time I out-qualified my teammate, and he gets through the melee, and I don't. Yeah, it's only such a small tap. But I managed to get through back to the pits, but too much damage, obviously. I think the steering was bent on the front right. But yeah, that was unfortunate, really. The guy that caused it, I think, went on to cause some more incidents later on. But they're still in the race, the people that caused the incident, and I think I'm the one that suffered, and a few other people, that were behind. So unfortunate, really, when you put so much time into a race all week. I was doing well here.
And Auguste Durac was doing well as well. He'd been running in 13th place. We're just going to replay here on screen. He's had a spin out of spoon. Continue your point there, Barry.
Yeah, that was good points this weekend, yesterday. So yeah, but top 10 today would have been definitely on the cards. And I was surprised really that I was a little bit quicker than Pablo today. But I had a really good setup for the race. I concentrated on the race setup, and it's just survived the first lap, haven't you, to see how it is. But yeah, I was well capable of doing top 10, I think, today. And unfortunate for Peter as well, because I think he's dropped down. He was having a good race as well in the week. But yeah, but still, there's Pablo and George are still there, so hopefully get some good points for Ligier.
Yeah, well, we look forward to seeing you back next week at Phillip Island, Barry, and wish you and Ligier the best of luck in that championship fight there with Brabham.
Thanks, Sam.
Richie, things have been getting tight for 5th place.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention I was watching that during that interview, and Alex just about ran right into the back of Matt Wood. So some it's getting heated here. I think Alex is getting a little bit frustrated by his own mistakes, and he wants to get that position back. But this is gonna rage right to the end, I think.
And 10 laps left to go as they come across the finish line there. Remember, the start-finish line is actually at the back of the grid, so the drivers don't have a whole lot of a run coming out of Casio on the final lap as Boy Millwood gets very close to Wood there. They don't have a whole lot of run out of Casio on the final lap to make a pass stick. So these drivers have got to be looking for any kind of passing opportunity that they can. And Millwood's definitely doing that right now.
Yeah, I think, like we talked about, I think Matt's got a pretty low downforce, so he's having to be a little more careful into the braking zone, and it's catching Alex off a little bit, so he's almost run into the back of him a couple times. We also saw Alex miss his braking zone completely in the Casio triangle, so, we'll see what happens here. Meanwhile, Adam Frazier is kind of slowly catching up here. He's only 2.7 seconds behind Noah Lampe. I don't know if I'll have enough time, but he has been faster almost every lap, so kind of keep an eye on that.
Yeah, Noah Lampe is having to deal with a bit of lap traffic there right now. That was Pepe Riccio he just went by in 29th place. I think Frazier's ran into quite a bit of bad luck recently, so he'll be, he'll be very angry me talking about him right now if that's the case.
I just almost saw Matt Wood almost lost it going into Spoon. I thought he was completely sideways, and that's brought Alex right up to his tail as we go through 130R, and here we go right into that Casio triangle once again. Alex really needs to get a good run right off this corner right here and really try to get some momentum going into turn 1. I think that's going to be his best opportunity to try to make a move.
Yeah, you see, you can't really depend on the pass on Casio working on the final lap though, but you can try and depend on the pass into turn 1 any lap. And let's see, Matt Wood may have overshot this corner here, knowing how much he's been struggling with braking. Millwood gets up alongside him into the S's, but Wood holds on. Still, though, Wood, with that less downforce that we think he has, he's not able to get through these S's as well. His car drifts a little bit more. He has to take them a little bit slower, and that brings the rest of the cars, Bycroft and Unhola, back into this battle.
Honestly, Alex could not get any closer to his gearbox. I thought they had a little bit of contact, and this might all end in tears. He's been so... Oh, there goes... I think that's George Lambert. Lambert's off the track, so this is going to move this battle up to fourth position. George was running 4th all by himself, and here's the replay.
That's definitely not good for Ligier in the team championship. One mistake from Lambert just dropped him 4 positions. That's how close the cars behind him all were.
Yeah, he clipped that curb a little heavy on the big entry there, and I say the curbs are not really meant to be driven on, and especially with these cars as low as you want to run them. So that's dropped George from basically 4th down to looks like 7th or 8th.
And this pack runs nose to tail for 4th place now they're fighting for. That's where what Matt Wood is holding down right now, ahead of Alex Millwood, Steve Bycroft, Tommy Unhola, and it's guaranteed, I would say, that George Lambert will rejoin this pack. We could have 5 drivers fighting for 4th place as they cross the line, 8 laps left to go.
Once again, you saw Matt Wood get a little bit sideways, drifting the car into the Casio Triangle. And boy, this, like, oh, there goes, oh, here he goes sideways again, and he is all over. It's going to open the door for Millward, and let's see if he makes it happen, and he does. Nice clean pass there.
But let's not also forget, this is not the first time we've seen Millwood out in front of this pack. And as Matt Wood once again goes wide, Millwood was not able to run away from them earlier. Can he do it this time?
Yeah, he was doing good in the front of the pack, but made his own mistakes, bring everybody back on top of him. So we'll see how these guys go with 8 laps remaining, and just kind of keep their head and try not to make those mistakes anymore.
All the while, they'll have to deal with the lapped car too as well. Chris Bean is not too far ahead of him, running in 28th place a lap down.
Millward's be able to get a little bit of breathing space between these 3 behind him. I can see George Lambert slowly creeping up on this group. So, there goes Wood. He's off the track once again. I saw him come in a little bit fast. He is really struggling with his car at the moment, and he's doing everything he can to hold Steve Bycroft behind him.
Well, this allows Alex Millwood to break away with 4th place for now, but Matt Wood just has so much straight line speed. I'm seeing about 5 miles an hour difference between himself and Alex Millwood on the run down the 130R there. That he's able to catch right back up.
Yeah, no one's been able to make a move on Matt Wood down the straightaway, so he's definitely got that straight line speed. That group up front, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, all separated out. That battle I was maybe talking about maybe happening isn't going to. So Nora Lampy's opened up that gap at 3.7 seconds.
And this pack has caught that lap car right in the S's. Chris Bean is going to try and stay out the way here.
Yeah, it's a bad spot. Alex gets by, but now he's, there you go. He did a good job just getting out of the way, but it's really packed those guys up behind him. That's a real bad spot to catch lap car.
Nice job by Chris Bean getting out the way. You saw a moment when we had the camera on him a little while ago. He has damage to his rear wing, so that explains why he's so far off the pace today. George Lambert is now able to get his way by as well through Degner 2. Still plenty of time for Lambert to catch this pack back up. 7 laps to go. Doesn't sound like a lot, Richie, but here at Suzuka it is.
Yeah, it is. This track's very demanding. As you can see, there's not really a lot of straight sections, just that front straightaway and maybe going into 130R. But other than that, you're always turning, braking, and you're just constantly doing something. So it is tough. And there we go. Gurno Frisch just demolishing the field. He's 10 seconds up on Nora Lampy, and Nora Lampy's doing a good job. It's just Gurno's just doing a little bit better.
And battle for 15th going on back here too.
Rob Olenek trying to catch up. He's gonna, got the car in front of him, got a little bit loose, and just opened the door for Rob, and away he goes. That's all it takes sometimes.
Yeah, this is that pack we had our eye on earlier. So currently Daniel Banker's leading it, because he seems to be an expert at not qualifying too well and coming home with great finishes. Rob Olenek just moved by John Me Coaster for 2nd in the pack. He's being pressured by Keith Erner. And the one driver who's been back and forth all race long is Auguste Durac. He's at the tail end of his train. He'll be hoping to pick off a couple more positions by the time the checkered flag flies.
Yeah, we got a lot of big movers in the field there, but got to give a shout out like we did. Shout out to Eric DeLinda with the 33 car starting 25th up to 12th. So he's definitely able to kind of hold his own. He's going to get really good points here today. So nicely done by him. Running that old school Parmalat Brabham colors.
And we mentioned our top 2 podium runners. Let's give a shout out to Adam Fraser too, because if he's able to pull this off, I think that will actually only be his 2nd podium finish of the season. Let me just double check my stats here. Because he got 3rd at Watkins Glen, and he would have gotten 2nd at Charlotte, but got in a collision with Tommy Unhola, who was a lap down, but had a spin coming out of turn 2. And look at Gernot Frisch continuing to go purple.
Yeah, he's in the zone right now. And like I say, once he gets out front, he's one of those people that he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So he's hard to chase down. The only way to really beat him is to get the jump on him right away.
5 laps left to go. Top 3 running without much pressure. Same cannot be said for a lot of drivers 4th on back. Alex Millwood still having to worry about Matt Wood. As we mentioned, it looks like Wood is able to go quite substantially fast on the straights. It's here in the S's that he struggles a bit.
Yeah, this battle hasn't stopped. They have separated out a tiny bit, so they're not right on top of each other, but I'm going to expect this to tighten up one more time as Tommy Unhola is starting to creep up to the back of Steve Bycroft. George Lammert, really after his mistake, I thought he was going to get back into that group, but I think when they got in that lap traffic, it separated himself out, and he hasn't been able to close it back.
Still 23 cars out here on the lead lap. It's been a fairly calm race after the pile-up we saw there on the opening lap. Gernot Frisch just put Glenn Corrigan a lap down.
Yeah, it's been a really clean race, and everybody's doing a good job. This is not an easy track to drive, so everybody's kind of keep their head in line, and we've seen some really good racing as well.
And just 4 laps left to go for our race leader. About 7 minutes of racing. And see if Gernot Frisch can pick off another victory, and that would be quite a significant one, actually. The reason is it would be Frisch's 7th win in 11 races so far this year. However, the thing I like to take a look at is the fact that last season, Juha Noralampi took 7 wins. So, now if Frisch is able to take the win today, he'll be able to tie what Noralampi did last season. Will he be able to beat him next week at Phillip Island? All right, what happened here? We got a replay. We don't have a replay.
Yeah, this battle 15th. Yeah, it's heating up. We got Unami. Is that how you say it? Unami Costa. And we got Costa and Olenek battling it to tight. You see, got some damage on Rob's car right behind him. Actually, they both have damage on their front wings, so they've been a little bit of a battle. We got Orgos Durak, who's had his own issues. He's gone off the track twice, so but he's hung in there. And he's really trying to make a move on Rob there. So this is going to be... Oh, there goes Costa over the curbs. Not the best place to do that. These guys are drifting these cars all around. I'm sure the tires are getting worn off with only 3 laps to go.
Battles continuing at the front of the field, at the middle of the field, also towards the tail end of the field. Glenn Corrigan just past Nicholas Isidro. Derek is off the pace. Oh, and off the track.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a last-minute dive into that corner there. Should have just sent it in, and of course, Durak got loose, sends it in. And they both kind of give each other room, and they both, they both kind of continue on. No harm, no foul. Nothing wrong with trying once in a while.
Right, barring any mistakes, it looks like Alex Millwood has finally broken free of Matt Wood for 4th and 5th place. So top 4 positions may finally be anchored down. But what about this battle for 5th? Matt Wood still getting a lot of pressure from behind from Steve Bycroft and Tommy Unhola. Unhola has had a pretty good race while being at the same time quiet about it. He started 10th and he's up to 7th.
Yeah, that battle was hot and heavy earlier. It's kind of calmed down a little bit. They're all right on top of each other, but not close enough to make any moves as we're getting down near the end of the race here. Going back to that battle, just a little bit with Costa and Olenek. These guys are trying to take each other out, it looks like, but not on purpose, but just really trying hard for that 15th and 16th position. So that's great to see how hard they're battling for the midfield.
And let's not forget, we had 39 cars start this race. The iRating of our top contenders in this series is quite incredible. So this is probably still a high strength of field race, and these positions, 15th, 16th, are still going to be worth a bucket load of points.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Those guys numbered in like 17th for John Stevens, 33rd, 33 for Eric DeLinda, Daniel Banker. All these guys are going to get some good points. Even, Adam Frazier and Alex Millward running the 9th and 10th cars, running the top 4, going to get some good points. Got this battle still heating up. I'm watching this battle with Costa and Olenek. It's coming down to the wire. They're right on top of each other, as you see on screen. If this ends in tears, that's going to open the door for Oguz Durak, who's had his own issues during this race.
Yeah, I'm going to say Durak would have to get by their wreck first. Well, it's 2 laps left to go for the leader right now. These guys are pretty much still at 2.5 laps left to go. In fact, these guys are pretty much on the tail end of a lead lap, not far behind them. Gernot Frisch is about to get the white flag, if you will, to start the final lap, as this battle for 15th goes back out onto the front straight again.
He's going to try to make him go around the outside. It's brought Durak. Oh, he's going to go 3 wide and try to take 2 for 1. Oh, he just drives into the side of him. Oh, boy, that's not going to make him very happy. That's unfortunate. I would say that's probably a little bit aggressive to try to make that move. And here he goes. He had the run, but unfortunately, I don't think Costa saw him and just kind of turned in. Just Olenek was just kind of, bystander of that product here.
Yeah, Durak held his line. He had the inside. He wasn't on the curb, but he was there.
Yeah, I would put that mistake on Costa, as he just kind of just turned in, and Durak more than enough next to him to make that pass stick. As we got a pass here. Oh man, Matt Wood just got passed by Steve Bycroft and Tommy Unhola. It's all checked up, and Matt's going to maybe lose that spot to Unhola as they're going side by side. This is oh no. They touched wheels, and that's not going to make Matt very happy, as he's going to drop another position.
Yeah, Matt Wood started 3rd, is all the way back to 7th now. Tommy Unhola started 10th. He's gone the other way. He's in 6th. Gernot Frisch, he started 1st. Well, he can't get a negative position, but if he did, he probably would have moved up there. The negative 1st or negative 2nd, the pace he has had today, he's going to win from pole. Let's put it quite plain and simple right there. I think he's also got the fastest lap, unless Nora Lampe has any intentions of stealing that for him on the final lap. True Casio, Aldo Casio, win number 7 of a season comes for your championship leader, Gernot Frisch, here at Suzuka.
Yeah, he's got a healthy lead too. He's going to win by 16.5 seconds, as Nora Lampe had to go through a bunch of traffic. He's coming through that Casio triangle to take that second position. So nicely done by him. I'm sure he wanted more, but that was a good race.
Frazier will get 3rd. Millwood will get 4th. The battle for 5th is coming to the line now, with Bycroft ahead of Unhola, ahead of Wood. Not too far behind them. George Lambert going to have to settle for 8th. All right, so what happened here, Richie?
Yeah, we were just gonna watch this replay with Matt Wood. Looks like he was on his own and just kind of, once again, he really struggled with that corner all day long. Got wide, opened the door. Here comes Steve, and then here comes Tommy. Tommy's looking for an opportunity. It's last lap. You got to do it, and just two cars trying to get the same position. They just kind of touch wheels very lightly, and that's all it takes. Kind of clips his front tire, and no harm, no foul. I'm sure, Matt's not happy about it, but he kind of started that problem by going wide at the beginning.
All right, well, we'll have time for drive interviews as well as a full field rundown after this break here on GSRC. Well, what a race here with just 2 rounds left to go in the Lotus 79 Classic Team Championship. As you probably saw in our little side-by-side in the break area, all started off with a lot of drama, but up front things were quite calm for our pole sitter and race winner, Gernot Frisch, winning by almost 17 seconds over Juhan Orlampi. Adam Fraser finally finds himself back on the podium in 3rd place ahead of Alex Millwood and Steve Bycroft, who got a 5th place finish. Tommy Unhola moved up 4 positions to 6th. Matt Wood, going to be the first driver in this rundown, disappointed with his result all the way back to 7th. George Lambert also not too happy. He made a couple mistakes throughout the race, puts him back down in 8th ahead of John Stevens and Pablo Lombardo Suarez.
Yeah, coming in 11th spot would be Daniel Gutuzzo. All these guys right here, really big runs, starting 19th to 11th, and so on. Eric Delinda, as we showed before, 25th to 12th. Paulo Alberton, 24th to 13th. Daniel Banker, same thing, up to 14th position. Rob Olenek, 15th spot. Keith Herner, 16th. Oguz Durak had some issues, finishes 17th. Fabio Guerriero, 18th. Our first car lap down, Todd Herner, 19th. And Michael Sherling coming home 20th.
Yeah, on that page, Oguz Durak was the only one to lose positions from where he started. On this page, we get Glenn Corrigan. Well, really didn't mention him a whole lot, but he went from 37th to 21st this race. So nice lap by Glenn, a nice race by Glenn. Behind him is Peter Konevsky, one of the drivers involved in the opening lap pile-up. He has to settle for 22nd ahead of Nicolas Isidro. Robert Plumley in 24th ahead of Francois Gagne in 25th. Chris Bean down in 26th place ahead of Pepe Rosillo in 27th. And Romy Costa, the other driver involved in the initial contact with Konevsky that kind of kicked off that mess on lap 1, he comes home in 28th. 2 laps down is Tony Teolis in 29th, ahead of Francisco Javier Gutierrez in 30th.
31st, Steve Sarlis, 5 laps down. The rest of these finishers, I don't believe, finished the race, had some issues. LaRusso, Hugo, Nicola Cochi, 33rd, 32nd, 33rd. Danny Martinez, 34th. Anthony Rice, 35th. Daniel Sanfilippo, 36th. Barry West, unfortunately, got taken out early, 13th to 37th. Not happy with that. Marco Sanfilippo, 38th, and coming in the back is Charles Larrick Limlin in 39th, which I don't believe didn't make it too far, but he'll try again next week.
Next week will be our season finale at Phillip Island, and Gernot Frisch, you'll be looking for win number 8 of the season there. Congrats on your 7th win of the season today.
Hi Sam, yeah, that was a really good week for me. I really love this track. I think it's one of the best tracks worldwide, and yeah, was also very very happy with my performance this week.
Now, obviously, you pretty much sealed the Drivers' Championship at this point. How much of an eye are you keeping on the Team Championship, knowing that your team Brabham is in a close fight with Ligier?
I'm definitely keeping an eye on that, but to be honest, I don't really know the standings right now. We didn't have an update this week, I think. So you guys probably know more than me concerning the Team Championship standings.
Well, we'll tell you this much, it's very close and just 1 round left to go. You say you like it here at Suzuka. Do you think you can get win 8 at Phillip Island? And do you really, really want that win, knowing that Juha Norlampi got 7 wins in the Classic Team Championship last season, and you could beat him by getting 8 here this season?
I didn't even know that statistics. So yeah, of course I'd like to win. Phillip Island is another great track. I hope I will be back home in time for the Sunday races. So yeah, hope to see you there and hope for a good season final.
Okay, no, you definitely put on a masterful performance today. 16-second win. Congratulations, and wish you the best of luck next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a nice evening. Congrats to Juha and Adam as well. Bye-bye.
Juha and Adam, of course, the other podium finishers. And Richie, you've caught up with Juha.
Yeah, Juha, great finish there in second spot. Started second, finished second. Kind of a quiet race for you, though.
Well, Richie, yeah, what can I say? This time Gernot was so superb, and he was, I don't know what he has done to his car, but it was an amazing pace. I couldn't have anything to do with racing with him, but I will want to congratulate Gernot. It was one of the best performances I have ever seen in this track. I think he has a so good car now that I don't even know how to make that kind of setup. But let's see in the future if I will race again. But this was quite boring now.
Well, he had a good start, clean start, and Gernot just had one of those races where just didn't make any mistakes. And you had the same type of race, and that's just kind of sometimes that's the way it goes. Are we going to see you at Phillip Island next week?
I hope. I have been sick for a few weeks or a few months now, but well, this flu, I don't know why it doesn't go away, but I'm looking forward to take their one win still, but I don't know. This time I thought that I could have a good pace, and at the early week I had a great setup and I made great lap times, and when I just came today racing, I noticed that it wasn't a good setup for the race, and the meantime between these two races I made different setup at the last minutes, and I tried to match Kearney's top speed, but I don't know. I couldn't match that at all. He was at least half a second quicker at the race pace. But congratulations to him for the victory and for the CTC championship. And I don't know if he will come at the last race at all.
Yeah, well, sorry to hear that you haven't been feeling well. I mean, hopefully you'll be back next week. It's always more exciting when you're involved. And he's got 7 wins, and you had 7 wins last season. So we'd love to see you get out there and try to stop him from getting that 8th win.
Is he going to be there? Did he say?
He did say he's going to be there, so he does like that track. So he says he's going to definitely try to be there. He said.
Oh, we have a 4-point difference at the official championship table. I think there would be a quite interesting 10 if the current will come also. Who wants there? It's going to win the official championship then, and that will be very interesting. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, nicely done. I know you're a little disappointed, but 2nd place is still a good job, and I hope you feel better, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thank you all, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Right, we got Tommy and Hola here now. Tommy, good race out there today. You started 10th, you finished 6th, and it wasn't really quiet for you. There was plenty of battling out.
Oh yeah, there was battles all the time actually. I'm not sure if there was any time gap over 1 second in the car behind or front, and start was really good, and then car felt really bad, and I was actually thinking if I got even right setup for the first 2 laps, but I must have broken it a bit somewhere as I lost a bit of downforce also, and just now looked that I had right setup, so I have no idea what was going on, and I could really not try any passes there, but had a really fun time chasing guys and seeing what happens. So,
which battle did you like the best? You won plenty of them throughout the race. Are there any that stick out? Because I know on the last lap you got quite close to Matt Wood.
well, yeah, that kind of. It felt like I was earlier on the side, and when looking at replay, that was maybe not the greatest pass, but it was last lap, and he was a bit slower, and it's race, so adrenaline got better of me this time. But maybe I would not do it again. But then there was this really. It lasted almost all the race. I think I got by Steve in the first lap, and then he overtook me a bit later, and I was chasing him all the race, and there was lots of things going on, and I needed to concentrate really much as car was not feeling so good. So I actually don't remember so well everything.
All right, well, hey, go back, check out the broadcast, because you made plenty of highlights for it. Are we going to see you next week for the finale at Phillip Island?
Yes, Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna drive in Sebring, but that's bad only for Saturday races, and I'm gonna try to make those 2. So Sunday should be good, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing broadcast. Thank you, guys.
All right, well, thank you, Tommy, for coming to talk to us. And we got one more interview here, Richie. You've called up with George Lambert.
Yes, George, thanks for joining us here. And, 8th place, probably not excited about that, especially kind of what happened near the end. But, man, you guys put on one hell of a show with the 4 of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty miffed at myself. It's not the kind of mistake I normally make in a race. Yeah, I was pretty happy sitting in 4th and just lost concentration past the back marker, I think, and I was thinking about that and smacked the curb car started bouncing and I didn't catch it. So yeah.
Yeah, we kind of caught that on the screen, and I understand. Happens to me almost every time I race. I get mad at myself, so completely understand. This is not an easy track. It's fun, but a little mistake definitely pay the price. But yeah, no, it was pretty exciting. And are you going to be with us next week at Phillip Island?
Yep, I'll be there. It's a fun track, so hopefully I'll get a better result there.
Yeah, it should be a good finish to the season. That is a beautiful track to run these cars on. So, well, thanks for joining us, George. Sorry about your finish, but it was exciting to watch on our end.
Yep, this track is all about being in the lead, really. It's pretty hard to overtake because of the aero wash, so yeah, throwing away that position really got my nerves a bit towards the end.
Yeah, we actually could see maybe some minor differences in the setups on who was fast down the straights and who weren't. It looks like Matt was pretty trimmed out, but he definitely had his struggles as well. So, but once again, like I say, I know you're a little disappointed with the finish, but it was a good run, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Well, one thing's for sure, at Phillip Island, there's a great passing opportunity there on down that very long front straight into that sweeping first corner, turn number 1. A lot of people love that circuit, and we love this series, and we hope you'll join us next week for our season finale at Phillip Island here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Looks like Gurno Frisch has that Drivers' Championship pretty much wrapped up, but what about the Team Championship? Ligier versus Brabham looks like it could go all the way down to the wire. Well, we would like to thank all of the organisers and the competitors from the Lotus 79 Classic Team Championship for choosing GSRC and putting on another fantastic show. We would also like to thank all of the companies that provide the software and hardware that we use during our broadcasts, and here we go, we're going to get those all up on our screen for you. Additional thanks also to Eric at Com and Drew Lalonde. They are our music providers. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of their great work. Thanks to the team today, Richie, Amjad and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at GSRC_gram. All of the upcoming races for our other series are listed on your screen, so be sure to check those out. Mark them down on your calendar and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.